Well, action.
This is the story of complex trauma. It begins over 60,000 years ago. A story of the first Australians, many different people groups, culture, and our law thriving. We knew who we were and where we belonged. We took care of our motherland and waters of country. We took care of each other. We were strong in culture and spirit. But then everything changed. That change removed us from our families, our mother country, our names, our languages, our everything. 253 years ago, 8 to 12 generations, complex intergenerational trauma now lives amongst us and within us, in our history lines, in our communities, in our families, and in our bodies. It lives on in the stories of our pain, addiction, mental health, family violence, and in our ongoing experiences of the gaps between black and white. Aboriginal Australians face some of the highest rates of suicide globally, with our young Aboriginal men experiencing a suicide rate more than double that of their non-Aboriginal peers. Aboriginal Australians make up only 3% of the population, yet they comprise around 30% of the prison population. These collective wounds can create far-reaching effects, impacting entire communities and perpetuating cycles of suffering. This trauma story, our trauma story, lives and breathes in the ongoing removal of our children and all that that brings. Amid the landscape of trauma, there is remarkable resilience. Complex trauma has a cousin, and its name is complex resilience.
Yama, hey, we're by this beautiful big old river here, and it reminds me of a great yarn, and this yarn helps us to understand the way trauma can get stored in our nervous system and what we need to get that trauma moving on out. We're also interested in what's feeding the river, what's going on at the mouth of the river. Is there some good stuff coming into the river, or is there some hard stuff around maybe the way that the river came to be? So healthy rivers have got this awesome flow to them, and sometimes because of weather they dry up and become really low, and sometimes because of the weather they become really full and rushing. But in all rivers, at times things fall into the river, big sticks, big rocks, that can really start to chock that river up. And so it is with our lives. We can have circumstances, memories, events that are like these big rocks and logs. They cause us emotional pain, and then we start to attach beliefs about ourselves onto those rocks and logs. And if they're sitting in a dry riverbed, they're not going anywhere. So one of the things that's really important to remember is that our bodies have an innate healing system. Our bodies know how to heal. Just like when we cut ourselves, our body knows how to heal. Well, under the right circumstances, we can also have an impact on dissolving and moving our traumas. We can actually help to move those rocks and logs out of our nervous system. We're talking about what's called in the yarn maladaptive stuff. That's the stuff that gets stuck. And we're talking about adaptive stuff. That's the stuff in the river. So we know that our best memories, there's adaptive, good gear in there. Our culture, there's adaptive, good gear in there. Our connection to community, the things we love, our values, all get that river flowing and have a massive impact on moving those rocks and logs out of the way.